Hey guys, we're going to talk about the future of Interchain NFTs. All right, let's get started with the numbers. So, Stargaze has so far minted over 1 million NFTs. So if you hate NFTs, I'm sorry. So that amounts to over $16 million in total sales. That includes the primary marketplace and the secondary marketplace. And these sales have fees associated with them. So Stargaze has real yield, and it's, I believe, one of the first chains in Cosmos to ever have real yield since March of last year. So the daily average revenue since launch is about $2,000 a day, which is better than most Cosmos chains, which is normally around 0. Creators have earned almost $9 million so far on Stargaze. And speaking of creators, I'm sure many of you have heard of Bad Kids, which is the collection that's doing a little over half the volume on Stargaze. It's been one of the best performing assets in Cosmos. It's 10x'd in value since launch. And it's also one of the best cultural exports or biggest cultural exports of Cosmos. It's crossed the chasm over to Ethereum. You have people like Hasu from Flashbots, who has a robot Bad Kid. And he's trying to get everyone who works at Flashbots to get a Bad Kid. I think there's 1 or 2 more who has them now. And if you work at Flashbots and you don't have a Bad Kid yet, you can buy it with ETH now. So the onboarding process is a lot easier. Of course, there's other NFTs in Stargaze as well. It's not just Bad Kids. We do creator spaces every week, run by Ruan and Stardy. And they do an amazing job on it. If you want to learn more about the other creators on Stargaze, come check out the spaces every Wednesday. There's a bunch of projects that have been migrating to Stargaze, notably MetaRats and Raccoon and Rec Bulls. Rec Bulls actually did a DAO vote on if they wanted to move to Coinbase Base, which is the new layer 2 from Coinbase, or to Stargaze, and their community voted 3-1 to migrate to Stargaze. So this is pretty awesome, right? A community is voting to move to a chain that has infinitely less resources than Coinbase does. So why do creators prefer Stargaze over the others? And I think one of our secret sauces is our infrastructure. I really like this quote by Reid Hoffman. If you're not embarrassed by the first version of your product, you've launched too late. And I think this quote really applies to a lot of projects in Cosmos, which spend a lot of time writing white papers and so forth. We're not in school, guys. You don't have to write a white paper. Just write code, build a product, and ship product. Okay, anyway. In terms of infrastructure, a lot of devs kind of start out looking at smart contracts, which is really only the tip of the iceberg. If you want to make a really good Web3 product, you have to also kind of look at the underlying infrastructure, indexer, front end. All this stuff has to be optimized if you want to build a product with amazing UX. At Stargaze, about 90% of our code is what you see at the bottom of the iceberg over here. One of those pieces is the RPC cluster. This is managed by Eric from Rhino. So this is kind of like a mini version of Alchemy, right? When we started working on Stargaze, none of this infrastructure existed in Cosmos. There's no Alchemy, there's no the graph, there's no indexing services and stuff like that. So we had to build all this stuff. is probably one of the most highest performing RPC clusters in the ecosystem right now. It's been handling all our mints, even the after the filter mint that minted out in a couple of minutes. It was able to handle it. We have nodes all around the world. The other thing is IPFS. So Stargaze is not just a DeFi product. DeFi products are mainly just dealing with text and numbers. Stargaze has to deal with images, video, audio. That's a tremendous amount of processing and tremendous amount of work. The existing solutions that we tried was kind of slow and clunky, so we had to build our own. We have IPFS services around the world, servers around the world. They host around 2.2 terabytes of content. And the other piece of this is an indexer. So we have a CosmoWasm indexer built in Rust, built by Fabian Penso, who's part of the team. It decreased load times from like 25 seconds to under half a second. So if you use Stargaze in the early days, you kind of know what I'm talking about. And getting back to the Reid Hoffman quote that I talked about, when we launched Stargaze, we wanted to get it out as soon as possible, right? We were seeing NFT activity happening on Ethereum, other ecosystems, and there was like nothing in Cosmos. And we wanted to launch as soon as possible, get it out there, and then if it took off, we knew we had the ability to scale and move fast. So having a fast indexer is very important for building a product with amazing UX. This is something that only Stargaze has. So as you guys may know, Stargaze is not just an NFT platform. It's also a CosmoWasm smart contracting platform. So if you want the best UX for your app, you should consider Stargaze because you get this amazing fast indexer for free. It's already used by, obviously, the Stargaze site and TFM, and also Skip uses it for badkids.zone, and maybe you can use it for your project. So that said, Stargaze is actually kind of like 5 or 6 startups in one, right? The app chain, this CosmoWasm layer, RPC layer, IPFS, indexer, and the website. All right, let's talk about updates to the Launchpad. So mint hooks is a new feature. Right now, when you go ahead and mint, you have whitelists that kind of gate the minting process. Now you can upload custom code and kind of customize that process. So let's say you want to, instead of paying to mint an NFT, you want to burn one and mint another one. You can do burn to mint. Let's say you're worried about your collection getting botted. You can make sure that they have to have a .stars name if they want to mint. We're opening it up for new assets. We're going to soon be able to mint with Atom, Osmo, USDC, native USDC, and also staked stars. And we just launched this real-world assets minter. There's a lot of activity right now in the NFT space with real-world assets. There's Pokemon cards, watches, and so forth. And our go-to-market for this is with Noble, the USDC chain. We have a campaign with them where you come in and you transfer the Frenzy token to Stargaze, and then you mint an NFT that is claimable for a real-world bracelet. Live auctions is a feature that we launched a few months ago. It's a soft, closed, dynamic ending auction. So the way it works is that right when an auction is going to end, it extends the time when a new bid comes in. So this prevents MEV capture, and it actually kind of makes it more fun because you kind of get into like a competition at the end with the other bidders. So it prevents sniping at the end. And also, we built it in a way that has 0 off-chain actors. Almost everywhere where you see auctions, you have off-chain actors that have to settle the auction when it's done. Because we built on Cosmos, we built a module called Cron that kind of uses the ABCI layer of Cosmos that sends events back to the contracts, and we can settle the auctions on-chain, 100% on-chain. And we're working with the team in Fairblock to work on seal bid auctions as well. So this is just a different type of auction where your bids are encrypted, and there's a potential for the seller to earn a higher price because they don't see all the other bids. And also, you don't have to be online at the very end of the auction. So it'll be interesting to see which one of these kind of get more usage. So Cosmos is a very DeFi-heavy ecosystem. And we've been thinking about ways on bringing DeFi users into ecosystem of NFTs. And every collection has floor tokens, which are kind of around the same price. And floor tokens are kind of like almost fungible tokens. So it kind of opens the design space to build DeFi. So we're going to be building a host of NFT finance, NFT-fi projects or protocols. And the first of that series is called Infinity Swap, which is an AMM for NFTs. So here's kind of and this is launching this week. This is kind of a preview of it. So the way it works is that you can add liquidity. You can create a buy pool, a sell pool, or a trade pool. If you create a trade pool, you have NFTs on one side, and you have stars on the other side, and you define a curve where the trades will happen along. And then you can earn yield, swap fees essentially, on these trades. So now you can start earning yield on NFT trading. So now, essentially, Stargaze will have an order book-based marketplace and an AMM-based marketplace. And we're not stopping there. We added a swap router that allows you to trade among all the pools. So you can put in some amount of stars, and it'll find the best deal for you by routing through all the pools. Another thing we've been working on is improving our onboarding UX. So the plan all along for Stargaze was this three-phased plan. We wanted to kind of capture all the users in Cosmos first. Then we wanted to kind of move to everyone else who's crypto native, and then focus on a mainstream audience. And I think we have accomplished phase one. And right around the time we were starting to move to phase two a couple of months ago, Johnny.eth posted this tweet saying, "Buying a bad kit is the hardest problem in computer science." Now, I'd be lying if I said that this did not bother me. It bothered me a lot. So we started focusing on UX. We've been working with Skip. So now if you go to stargaze.zone/swap, you can easily swap from any Cosmos asset to stars directly in one click. This also works with Ethereum. We've been working with Squid for one-click swaps from ETH to stars. And of course, we've been working with Kato as a fiat on-ramp to go directly from USD to stars. And we didn't stop there. We kind of extended this to when you buy an NFT. So now you can buy an NFT with pretty much any IBC asset. We're starting with Atom, Osmo, and USDC. And it'll automatically find the chain where you have the deepest amount of liquidity for that asset and do the swap for you and let you buy in one click. We've also integrated MetaMask, so this MetaMask snaps now. So now using Stargaze is no different than using Ethereum, and it probably even has better UX than any L2. We've also been working on Interchain NFT transfers. This is also very close to launch. Here's just a screenshot where an NFT is being transferred from Stargaze testnet to Terra 2. Amazing job, Trevor Clark, on working on this UI. And this is something that we're working on next. We're working on a new version of the marketplace. This is going to be an intent-based order book. So we're kind of moving into a world where we have all these IBC-connected chains, and it kind of makes no sense to have all the liquidity localized, right? So this is going to allow off-chain actors, IBC-capable actors, solvers, to go and match orders to complete optimal trades. And this is going to support any type of asset. It's not just NFTs. A lot of people have been wanting to trade bundles. They want to trade their bit kit together with their bad kit. So this is going to make that happen. And of course, there's one more thing. Some of you may have gotten codes to use ibc.chat. ibc.chat is pretty much token-gated chats with a really nice UI. If you got the badge for Cosmoverse, we're going to be having a chat room that you can go and chat with everyone else who has the badge. And of course, we're not stopping there. In a couple of weeks, you'll see this button next to your profile where you'll be able to buy shares of your friends and get into a one-on-one chat with them, and also into a collective chat with everyone who owns your shares. All right, folks, that's all I had. Thanks a lot. Take care.